Next month, political gladiators who have spent the better part of the past year on the podium will find out what Nigerians think of their proposals. It has been a journey that has galvanized millions, but on the election morning itself, it leaves the man in the hands of his fate via the thumbs of approval of others, many of whom he will never physically meet in life. For some big parties, the past 24 hours have been full of mudslinging and stone throwing. Some say those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, but that is not a Nigerian proverb, is it? As the time remaining to the D-Day gets shorter, the stakes are getting higher even for the umpire, with another regrettable attack recorded on an INEC facility. Also today on Political Update, we shall track presidential campaigns as well as some state guber races and hopefully get to talk with one of the men on the ballot. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. Just days after INEC's latest warnings on attacks on its facilities and the danger this poses to the smooth organization of the 2023 elections, the Enugu South local government area of the commission was attacked by yet to be identified persons on Monday. The security gate house was raised, but the attackers were unable to gain access to the main building due to the rapid response from the police and army personnel from the 82 division. The state commissioner of police and the resident electoral commissioner were at the scene of the incident shortly after the attack. As stated by INEC National Commissioner for Information Festus Okoye, indicates that of the two policemen deployed to protect the facility, one of them lost his life while the other sustained injuries and is currently receiving treatment. INEC had earlier restated its commitment to delivering smooth, transparent and credible elections in spite of efforts in some quarters to indicate otherwise. INEC Director of Voter Education Victor Aluko, who represented the chairman of the commission at NTA's News Managers Conference, said the timelines remain sacrosanct.
Already, substantial quantities of sensitive and non-sensitive materials have been deployed to various locations across Nigeria. The last batch of the bimodal voter aggregation system, BVAS, has been received by the Commission, while the ongoing configuration of the critical technology in readiness for elections will soon be completed. In the last few days, we commenced the airlifting of other sensitive materials to states across the country. Already, some of the materials for 17 states in 3 geopolitical zones have been fully delivered. Furthermore, 13,868,441 permanent voters cards, known as PVCs, have been printed and delivered to states and are being collected by citizens as new voters or by existing voters who applied for transfer or replacement of cards as provided by law. Similarly, following the display of the voters registered nationwide and the conclusion of claims and objections by citizens, a new national register of voters has been compiled. In short, at no time in the recent history of the Commission has so much of the foreplanning and implementation be accomplished 43 days ahead of the general election. Therefore, INEC is not contemplating any adjustment to the election timetable, let alone the postponement of the general election. For the avoidance of doubt, the presidential and national assembly elections will hold on Saturday, 25th February 2023, while governorship and state assembly elections will hold 2 weeks later on Saturday, 11th March 2023. The repeated assurance by the security agencies for the adequate protection of our personnel, materials and processes also reinforces our determination to proceed. The 2023 general election will hold as scheduled. Any report to the contrary is not the official position of the Commission. As a further affirmation of the Commission's readiness to conduct the 2023 general election as scheduled, the final register of voters has been compiled. At the end of the period for claims and objections by Nigerians, the Commission received 53,264 objections from Nigerians to the prevalence of ineligible persons unregistered by virtue of age, citizenship, or death. These names have been verified and removed from the register. Consequently, the register of voters for the 2023 general election stands at 469,008 persons.
All right, Director of Voter Education, Independent National Electoral Commission speaking there at the NTA Management Conference. Of course, it's now 39 days to the general election. Now, just as the race to the presidential villa has gathered pace, the contest for the 4-year occupancy of the various state government houses are equally frenetic. Now, Eno Umo, that's a pastor and politician and governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom, joins us now via Zoom. Pastor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
All right, Pastor. Have you exchanged one podium for the other? Does one naturally dovetail with the other, since you are used to speaking to quite a number of people at the same time?
Well, the program of the pastoral podium is quite different from political podium, but the same person. Bible says that gifts are different, but the Spirit is one.
All right, let's look at what you have in front of you in a couple of weeks. We used to say next year. Now next month, the general election, and just a couple of just 2 weeks after, it will be decision time for the people of your state. What are you bringing to the table differently from what we've seen in that state since it's been created?
Well, I wouldn't say that we are bringing anything completely different. What we are bringing is continuity. Since the creation of Akwa Ibom, we have been blessed with governors that have taken the state from one level to another. Particularly the president governor, we have a lot of infrastructure development across the landscape of Akwa Ibom state. So what we are bringing to the table is to ensure that we link Akwa Ibom and connect them to all of this infrastructure to begin to derive economic benefits. I'm an entrepreneur by vocation, so I intend to bring an entrepreneurial spirit to the state. We have encapsulated that in what I call the Arise Agenda. We intend through the Arise Agenda, which is an acronym for agricultural revolution, rural development, infrastructure maintenance and development, security, and then economic development and educational development. That is the Arise Agenda. And through that agenda, we intend to up the game, convert all of this infrastructure to be able to convey economic benefits to our people in the local government and in the rural areas. Be able to stem rural-urban migration by creating in the rural areas itself facilities that will drive economic growth of our state using the current infrastructure that has been put in place by this government, and then rooting on the peace that the state is currently enjoying. My Bible tells me that where a son of peace is, there will be peace. I believe that if we don't go by Emmanuel in Akwa Ibom, succeeded in making Akwa Ibom state one of the most peaceful states in this country. By the grace of God, we intend to build on that trajectory. We intend to ensure that we deepen the peace that we have enjoyed in our state, in the rural areas, particularly in the riverine areas where the activities of piracy are beginning to rear its head. We intend to work with the security agencies, and of course they've been doing a great and fantastic job in Akwa Ibom state.
All right, Pastor, Pastor, if I can, button a little bit, if you see the statistics coming out from INEC, you see there are so many new voters, about 9 million of them, a lot of them are youths. Perhaps that's why you are wearing jeans and shirt this time. Are you connecting with that population?
The younger generation is our target. Of course, all of this is to ensure that our youth will have work. We can create jobs. We can ensure that they have a platform to express themselves. We create jobs through agricultural revolution. We create jobs through technological revolution. We intend to build on the Bomb Science Park, which has been there for a while. We intend to ensure that we let our youth understand that this is their government. We're connecting with them, we're talking to them, and we intend to continue to build on our intellectually sound, youthful demography that we have in our state. Continue to build on that, and that's what we're doing through the jobs we want to create, through the factories that are coming, through supporting small, medium enterprises, through supporting businesses so that they can continue to grow. Begin to let our youth understand and build on the value of hard work. That's what we're doing, and we're letting them understand that. We want our youth to know that violence is not the way to go, and we will also be able to ensure that politicians don't use our youth to foment trouble while our kids are up out there in the US, in the UK, in Canada, and we continue to use these youths to create problems and abandon them. We will create schools where youth will learn trades. We will create professional schools, technical schools. Already there's one going on in Akwa Ibom now. We'll create so many more so that our youth will come out and be employers of themselves rather than become job seekers. These are all the ways we want to connect with our youth. From my professional experience, I believe we can do that. I've been in the private sector for over 30 years. I've created my business in Akwa Ibom. We started from scratch, and now we have our businesses all over. And we can help our youth build their life from scratch and can grow, because businesses can also grow here. That's what we're connecting with the youth. That's the message for the youth.
All right, I can see that in spite of your experience on the podium, your voice is almost getting hoarse. Has it been challenging, preaching this new gospel, especially to different sectors of your state's economy? How has it been now that, because a lot of people have said that if you want to know how many more seconds are remaining before the D-Day, just check the heartbeat of the candidates. How are you feeling at the moment?
Well, we're going on. As a matter of fact, I'd like to tell you very clearly, we are the only political party, the PDP remains the only political party in Akwa Ibom that is campaigning, going from local government to local government, from ward to ward, through our various candidates, from one senatorial district to the other. You need to see my program, talking to the people, engaging the people, and connecting with the local, with the electorate themselves. We're holding a lot of town hall meetings. I have to excuse myself from one to grant this interview. We are crisscrossing the length and breadth of the state, selling our program, rising above the low-level rate of our people, the opposition, trying to blackmail, trying to castigate, because we are the only political party in the state that really have a message. That's the truth, and you can find this out yourself.
All right, Pastor Almo, thank you very much for being a part of it. I was almost waiting for where you would tell us some of these projects will be as the Spirit leads, but you have been able to give us, in concrete terms what you're going to do. Perhaps we will still come back to the state to see exactly what will happen before the D-Day. Thank you for being a part of the program.
You're very much welcome. You're welcome anytime.
Going to the presidential level now, the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with the party's governorship and National Assembly candidates in the forthcoming elections.
This is a meeting that the leaders have called to get us really prepared, to get us properly inclined to what we are supposed to expect and what we are supposed to do when the elections are around. The elections are about 40 days or so, and everyone has to be sensitized. Everyone has to be in the right frame of mind to pursue the project in line with what is enshrined in the Constitution and the Electoral Act. And from what you can see, there is tremendous amount of motivation in the members of the party. There is so much synergy in the ways and manner we are talking toward this election. I can see from the result of this meeting that this election will be a huge success for APC at all levels.
Meanwhile, the Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress APC on Monday called for the prosecution of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Elijah Atiku Abubakar, over what it called weighty corruption allegations against the former vice president.
we want to make the point that Atiku does not enjoy immunity simply because he is a presidential candidate. And we're saying this because we understand that the law enforcement agencies may be reluctant to act simply because of the perception of persecution of a presidential candidate that this may evoke. However, facts are sacred. The facts so far presented to the world clearly indicate that Atiku Abubakar has a case to answer. He has an explanation to make. I am going to court myself. Apart from the PCC decision on this, I have written to them and the letters are there, distributed to all of them. 3 law enforcement, they are giving them an ultimatum. I will proceed to court to ask for disqualification of Atiku Abubakar. He is not fit to run for the highest office of the land. We are calling the law enforcement agencies to do the needful. So in their own investigations, anybody that is related or linked to this would also be apprehended. But the law is no respecter of anybody.
The safety of the whistleblower is at stake. Nothing must happen to this man.
The People's Democratic Party has since responded to that allegation, saying its presidential candidate has been investigated several times and has not been convicted of the crimes being put forward. Meanwhile, the party says it will continue to promote and encourage a violence-free campaign while appealing to Nigerians to give it another shot at the center.
This media briefing by the PDP spokesperson Debo Ologunagba is centered on 2 key issues: recommitting to non-violence and issue-based campaigns, and reaffirming the stance of the party's candidate for the Borno Central Senatorial District.
Supposed to win the majority of the votes across the country, has secured 25% in all of the federation to elect the president.
On the Borno Central Senatorial District election, the party urged members to disregard information towards not having a candidate for the election.
A candidate for the Borno Central election, Mohammed Omaya, has self-confirmed with the list of candidates for the 2020 election as published by INEC.
Meanwhile, members of the United Nigeria Movement, a political association, have resolved to queue behind the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, as its sole candidate for the February 25, 2023 election.
We are supporting him. He is the only candidate who has what it takes to pull Nigeria out of the doldrums. The United Nigeria Movement will remain by his side and offer our full support in any possible way.
The movement explained that their decision followed a nationwide consultation of members who promised to take their campaign for Atiku to the grassroots.
With less than 40 days to the first weekend of the 2 key elections in Nigeria, the presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has appealed to candidates on the party's platform to return to their states and canvass for votes to ensure NNPP's victory. He was speaking at his party's North Central Presidential Campaign rally in Lafia, Nasarawa State.
New Nigeria People's Party's Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso arrived in the Lafia Square to the adulation of party supporters. The North Central campaign focused on improving the nation's educational system, tackling insecurity by providing more security personnel and adopting new ways of solving conflicts. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who was once the healthman in Kano State, assured Nigerians that if elected, his government will not only provide peaceful atmosphere for the country to thrive, but ensure dividends of democracy cascades down to the people.
If we have an opportunity to governor of Nasarawa State, we are going to make the education from primary to free.
Candidates vying for various positions in North Central under the NNPP were presented with flags. While in Nasarawa State, the presidential candidate paid homage to the royal fathers of Karu, New Karshi, Nasarawa, and Lafia Emirates, where he solicited support.
The Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi was recently at Chatham House, the famous British International Policy Institute. Obi fielded questions after his paper, which dwelled on dismantling the structures of criminality while promoting competence and character to ensure talents and ideas flourish.
We will fight and stop corruption. Yeah. The first thing about stopping corruption is yourself. If you're not involved, your wife is not involved, your family is not involved, those around you are not involved, you will reach it by over 50%. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm sure, Paul, you know that. We are committed. We can't disappoint the youth. We must build a new Nigeria. And we will deal with that. Investors will come back. Those who left, even the young people who are today living, they'll come back. We want to bring them back. This green passport, people must be proud to use it.
And lastly, the People's Redemption Party (PRP) and the African Action Congress have signed an alliance document. Let's get the details.
AAC and PRP are two parties, however, with similar ideology of improving the lives of the masses. They come together to support a sole candidate of the AAC, Omoyele Sowore, to salvage the country from the challenges hindering its progress. The presidential candidate and other stalwarts from the two parties who agreed to work for a common goal assured of a new Nigeria if elected into office in the next month election.
We would bring to bear on this country renewable power, electricity, energy, to develop the agricultural sector and invest massively in infrastructure and ensure that this country takes its place among the community of nations on the continent of Africa, and eventually this country, Nigeria, will become the pride of Black Africa.
This alliance actually reflects the dream of Nigerians. I am old, intelligent, well. ANC is young. He needs my support. I will just advise him, show him the right way, and I'm sure he will listen because he is a PRP candidate from the party.
The two parties enjoin their members to support their respective candidates in other elected positions.
That concludes Political Update for today. We'll be back fresh and early on Friday for another fresh package. Don't forget TikTok, pick your PVCs, and time is running very fast, and very shortly we'll be heading to the very first of the two key election dates. And keep it locked with the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's finest and largest, for the best of political news, reviews, previews, and interviews. My name is Fisal Gumpi, urging you to continue to stay with us and play your politics for the greater good. Bye bye now.